Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live broadcast of the Fuji Television Japanese Grand Prix, the final round of VFU 1999 Formula One World Championship, with the title deciding race against the McLaren of Tina Curtis and the Stewart of Aleksei Spirichev. We're just about to get underway with qualifying, with cars leaving the pits very shortly to get underway for the qualifying session. Some are lucky to make the 107%, and others need vital track position for lap 1. We'll go down on track and see what the situation is very shortly. So we'll turn over. Ronan Griffin setting the fastest lap of the session with a provisional 1:38.443 thanks to tag here timing. So that's Ronan Griffin on the board. His teammate Owen Potter in front of our cameras right now, starting his qualifying run. Going through Degna 1, Degna 2, all the way up to the hairpin. A little bit of traffic ahead of him. Let's go on board. Down through the gears. Lovely Jordan Mugen Honda singing. There's a slow exit, so maybe it's just an end lap. There's the Williams of Jules Bouchard. Every lap is going to count. The final race coming down to the wire. I believe there's still quite a chance for constructors to manufacturers at this stage. But the main thing is that the title race is come down to two cars, the unexpected but quick Stewart and the expectant high standard dominating machine of McLaren. So yes, now he's starting his lap as the lap counter from Potter just takes over the top of your screen. Into corner 1. 7 S's, that's Spirichev, so one of our title protagonists with the fastest lap of the session, 36.5. RPM down to about, I would like to guess, 6 to 7,000 RPM towards smooth curve, heading back straight towards the famed 130 RPM. The Honda, more powerful engines in the grid, healthy, conserving Casio triangle. This is a very tight, very difficult version of the final process of colliding lights there today, especially for the team. Last time that version of Casio triangle used. That's Owen Potter on the board, 2 seconds down on Aleksei Spirichev's time, and back to the Jordan pits he goes. We have a new special element in this race in the form of Lorenzo Turri, if I can find him. May have... There he is, that should be it. Lorenzo Turri taking over from Matthew Simeoni at Ferrari as a sabbatical with no due return date. Lorenzo is the journeyman of Ferrari. He's filled in for them on several occasions since 1994. He fills in again for them today. They'd like to have him full-time, but Turri's a busy man. Now, he starts his lap, so let's see what he can do. It is Ferrari. Much quicker than first corner there, so already you can see the performance of the Ferrari over Honda's Jaguars. Fixed steering wheel getting through the 7S's. Extreme prejudice. Does have traffic ahead. That looks like an arrows, so that's going to be a tough one. The arrows is pulling aside gently. Down through the gears, he takes it in the higher gear than bottom. That's third gear. Down through the gears again. Really flicking the car into the hairpin, and that's a spin, so one lap already gone for the Italian. Meanwhile, Lewis Reese Burton for Benetton, beginning his qualifying lap of the day. This is supporting cast to Tina Curtis's title chances. That's Alexis Borden heading out of the pits. Now beginning her outlap for McLaren. Well, we have a newcomer in the Arrows seat. Haven't managed to catch us here yet. Oh! And that is definitely a hallmark of being in a minnow, a very unstable chassis. So he'll be wrestling with that for the day. Meanwhile, the steward of, I believe that's Karel Oosterlek now, another supporting role. He's on his lap going towards the spoon curve with his Stewart Ford. Sparks flying. He's yet to set a lap, so he has no time comparison. Leaderboard. Screaming towards 130R, 6th gear, 310 kilometers an hour, flat out, left-hander, then prepare to stop the Catholic triangle, hard braking all the way down to first gear, 60 kilometers an hour, flick the steering wheel left and right, little bit of wheel spin on the exit and towards the start finish line. Let's see what kind of time he gets. And it's a very competitive 1:36.9, just 0.4 of a second off of his teammate. So Stewart are coming here and they are not messing around today. Very good lap from Carroll. Meanwhile, we have Jules Bouchard for Williams with an impressive time. 1.1 seconds down, followed by Ronan Griffin. Owen Potter now consolidating place, so that's a Jordan for 5th. Followed by a Lewis Reese Burton 6th, and then 7th we have Chris Simkin for Sauber. He seems to be on their lap. We'll take a short pause just to reload the new cars that have joined the server, and we will be right back. And we are back. Just making some server-side tweaks for the enjoyment of everybody. Just make sure the volume balance is good. And I'll turn down the trackside volume a little bit. Just let me know in the chat if it's still a bit too loud, if you're struggling to hear me. Now, apart from that, let's update on the situation at hand. So, Lorenzo Turri has changed the game a little bit, going fastest 5/10 of a second on Spirichev and 9/10 of a second on Karel Ostrolek. Now we have Sirignano heading out on the out of the pits for his first outlap of the day. Pair of Italians hopefully can get involved and be crucial elements in who gets this title between Tina Curtis and Karel Ostrolek. Bit of traffic to navigate for Sirignano. No issues, as they are also both on outlaps. Let's actually go to the McLaren of not Borden, but if we may find her, there, Tina Curtis. Let's see what her first flying lap of the day will be, as that will be the tell-all for her competitiveness to take this title. They both need to win. I think in Tina's case, she just needs to get better than 4th for the title if Spirichev retires. But if they both race, they both need to win, I think, at any cost. I'm not exactly well rehearsed. Actually, let me double check out of curiosity as Tina Curtis enters the first curve. No carried penalties today for anyone significant, except for Maciej Gill, representing Minardi, who is not here today at the moment. Leonard Podosek going 9th fastest for Arrows as Tina Curtis spins, so that first lap is now gone. Let's catch up with Sirignano. See what time he makes. 7th gear, 310 kilometers per hour, and the extra gear of the Ferrari, first to do it. Down through almost all 7 gears, 2nd gear into the Casio triangle towards the start-finish straight. And this is his 2nd attempt at a lap today, this evening. Let's see what time he makes. And that is the fastest lap of the race. So Ferrari are really seriously contenders and are really going to become problematic for Spirichev and Curtis respectively, with a 1:35.7 clocked by Jaguar timing. So that is a front row for Ferrari, a 1-2 for Ferrari at this point in time, and a 3-4 for Stewart, then a McLaren 5, and a Williams 6. That is not the order I was really expecting at this moment in time, but that could change. There's still plenty of time left in the session. On board with Jules Bouchard, who just barely saves it on the curb there. Don't know how he managed to get that straightened up. And Spirichev goes fastest with a 1:35.6 to break the Ferrari 1-2. So he's still got fight left in him. Excuse me, as he beats Sirignano's time by 9,000ths of a second, and already Ferrari is on their way out, with Lorenzo Turri now to make his second attempt of the evening. So it's an awfully competitive grid today. Looking at my clock, there's only roughly 15 minutes left in the session. So there is not a lot of time to get a significant foothold in those top 6 point scoring standings for this Grand Prix. If you want to get out, you need to get out now in clean air against no traffic. As Turri continues on his outlap, we will get on board with him shortly. Into 130R. Now, in finality, the Casio Triangle. The Marlboro, front of the nose, shining with the red as he comes down the start-finish straight towards turn 1. First curve, almost flat. Third gear, little bit of four-wheel drifting there as he turns left into the Senna S, flicks the steering wheel right and flicks it left again. Smooth first sector. Now towards Stegna 1 and 2. Flicking the car right, down the third gear. Takes that a gear higher than most. Again, quickly down the gears. A little bit of a drift, that's going to cost him. Exit on the dirty side of the track, and he gets a bit of dust up in the right hand front tyre. Sand collecting for a moment there. Then into Spoon Curve. Spoon Curve is smooth, but this is definitely going to be slower than his previous lap in my opinion, because every mistake counts, clearly with the top 4 being within a second of each other, just about. 130R coming up. Touches the curb a bit. From 7th to 2nd gear. Understeer, and it's going to be over the left-hand curve, and it's really crossed up now. Not looking good. I'll be surprised if there's improvement. And there is no improvement, of course, so that will be an unfortunate wasted lap for Turri. Hopefully he can improve on his next attempt. Meanwhile, Sirignano out again to try and snatch away pole from Spirichev. As he goes through the Spoon Curve. Now, there could be a situation here. I believe that Stewart is on a lap, but it is slowing up. That looks like Karol Ostrolek. And Sirignano himself is on an outlap, so I reckon he'll just give himself space to make his attempt, or else there'll be angry words in the paddock if he had to wave off his lap. the Stewart and the Ferrari starting their laps. This is Spirichev on a lap of his own, an out lap I believe. Staying with Sirignano as he goes on his next attempt. Crossed up a little bit on exit towards the Senna S's. Keeps it together though, but with 9 thousandths in the balance, I think that'll be enough for Spirichev to stay fastest of the session. There's only 3 minutes to go in qualifying, so he would definitely need to make this count. Lock up for, I think, Ostrolek in front. As Spirichev sets a new fastest lap of 1:35.5, and that's enough to get a tenth of a foothold on Sirignano, and it could be enough to keep that precious pole. And I have to wonder, where is Tina Curtis in all this? Tina Curtis is not even any faster than Aleksei Spirichev at the moment. Not even in the points at this current time. There's Tina Curtis all the way down in 10th, which is going to really hurt her championship chances. And that is Leonard Podosek for Arrows in 12th. 13th is Chris Simpson. And 14th is Miguel Crepspo, qualifying on the hard tire, so he's on a different strategy. But it's a spin, a bad spin, and a massive accident for Crepspo at 130R. And that'll be his last lap of the session, unfortunately for him. So that was a big incident for the Brazilian. One minute to go in qualifying. Spirichev still looking for more time with 2 laps left in the bank. So realistically, 1 lap, not counting the in-lap. There's a Foster's advertising board in the middle of the road. Hopefully that's not affecting the cars. And a stricken Arrows there at the hairpin, as well as a BAR that has spun. That could have been Nick Holliday, I'm not sure. The Foster's advertising board swiftly removed, thankfully enough. No one wants to get punctures from that. 130R again, flat out for Sirignano. Let's see if he'll get improvement. He had a few distractions on his lap. First gear, it's a good Casio triangle. Get back on the power. There's a Jordan stricken, but he's quickly removed. Is it pole for Sirignano? It is not. No improvement for Sirignano. Nor Turi, so it'll be a Ferrari 2-3. Now, Sirignano's continuing, maybe he's hoping to improve. Spirichev is still on pole with a tenth of a buffer zone. Tina Curtis has now managed 4th, so that's the form I was expecting to see from her today, and probably hoping to jump Spirichev at the beginning. Karol Ostrolek, a respectable 5th, and Aleksei Spirichev hoping to defend her teammate in 6th, the final points paying position. Thanks for the ride, Eddie, as written on her helmet for Eddie Jordan's passing this year. And that's Spirichev with no improvement, pulling off. We still have Sirignano on a lap. The track is quiet, so I think he's the last car out. Let's see if he can get an improvement all the way down to first gear again. It's a good exit for the Casio triangle. Get power down, hug the right-hand side wall. Let's see, is it going to be pole for Ferrari? It is not. And a Spirichev is going to be your pole sitter for the evening as Sirignano clarts the wall at the end of his lap. So, to recap, your pole sitter for the final race of the Grand Prix, Aleksei Spirichev, followed by the Ferraris of Lorenzo Turri and Salvatore Sirignano. Fourth is the other championship challenger of Tina Curtis. Fifth is Karel Osterlek. Sixth is Alexis Borden as they are ticking over to the next session. Now you can see the full monitor screen. Seventh, Jules Bouchard. Eighth, Lewis Wedding. Ninth, Ronan Griffin. 10th, Owen Potter. 11th, Lewis Reese Burton, 12th Leonard Podosek, Chris Simpson for 13th, and did not qualify for Miguel Crespo for Benetton. With that, we will take a short break and we will be back for the race start as the cars prepare for the race in warm-up, final checks, setup, strategy, and we will get underway with the title decider very soon enough. I will leave you with the warm-up monitoring screen timing shortly as we tick over. See you. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, just at the tail end of the formation lap, ready to begin the Japanese Grand Prix. On pole we have Aleksei Spirichev, followed by the Ferraris of Lorenzo Turri, Salvatore Sirignano, and then fourth, the other title protagonist of Tina Curtis. Fifth, we have Karel Ostrolek. Sixth, we have Alexis Borden. Then seventh, Jules Bouchard. Eighth, Lewis Wedding. Ninth, Ronan Griffin. 10th, Owen Potter, the other Jordan. 11th, Rhys Burton. 12th, Leonard Podosek. And that rounds out the field. So as the engines prepare to go, the Japanese Grand Prix is underway, and now we'll see how this title deciding fight already gets going in dramatic fashion as Tina Curtis is side by side with Aleksei Spirichev. Aleksei Spirichev pushes the McLaren of Tina Curtis wide, and they make contact rear to nose. So already they're going hammer and tongs. The Ferraris have fallen well back already, completely in the space of a single corner. So our protagonists already having the war on between themselves as Tina pulls out, already looking, begging for a way to get around. Must be on a low fuel load to get a start that quick. It's clean for everyone. Spirichev, Tina, again looking for a way, and that's Potter spun around. Doesn't bring out the safety car, thankfully. And Aleksei Spirichev has spun around on the hairpin. Drama everywhere. So Tina Curtis now leads the Grand Prix after a single lap, starting from I think fourth place. That's an extremely lucky lap. The other McLaren of Alexis Borden goes off. The Ferraris are now second and fourth. There's Owen Potter getting back into the race. And that is Aleksei Spirichev with a mountain to climb if he wants to win the World Championship. And all Tina has to do now is stay calm and composed under the Ferrari attack. Look at that, 2 wide, 3 wide. They're all jostling for positions into the Casio Triangle. There's contact between the Williams and the McLaren coming out of the exit. And that was just lap 1 drama. Just lap 1. McLaren Mercedes fastest lap of the race, 1:46.1. Coming through the order, Lorenzo Turri, Salvatore Sirignano, Karel Ostrolek, Lewis Wedding, Alexis Borden, Jules Bouchard, Owen Potter, and Lewis Rhys Burton following up in 9th. And wide goes Turri into the barrier, and he hits. Does he lose his front wing? He doesn't lose his front wing, but I think he stalled it, and he's out. Lorenzo Turri is out. He's lost it. So much drama in the first 2 laps of the Grand Prix. He stalled it, and that's his day over for Ferrari. So now it is Sirignano, second place for Ferrari. Third is Ostrolek. There's 4th, Lewis Wedding. 5th is Borden. Already Spirichev is driving in anger to try and recover all the time lost. That was extremely poetic stuff to see. That would have the fans going wild, I imagine. And that is your current world title holder, if she can get to the end of the next 25 laps unscathed. Meanwhile, Spirichev hounding to try and get back those positions and fight for his title. He'll be kicking himself if this is the way he loses a title. 1:38, 1:38.4 for Sirignano. So Sirignano is currently the fastest car on track. Let's get onto the T-Cam if we can. There we are on the T-Cam. He's in the Senna S's chasing after Tina Curtis. Let's see what's going on down in the pack. Side by side, Rhys Burton versus Jules Bouchard. Jules Bouchard getting blocked. And Jules almost getting all crossed up and losing the car. And inside and through goes Jules Bouchard, as well as Spirichev on Potter to go after Borden. Let's see what's going on with the Ferrari. No ground yet made up quite exactly yet on Tina Curtis. Only a corner away. There's Lewis Wedding in a comfortable fourth. Probably will have to defend from Borden, who will have to defend from Spirichev. Jules Bouchard, Reese Burton. I believe that's actually, I've gotten my wires crossed. So it was Owen Potter who did not make the mistake. It was Ronan Griffin who made the mistake and fell back on his start. And that's Tina Curtis with the new fastest lap of the race. 1:38.4. Following Sirignano, Ostrolek, Wedding fourth, coming over the brow, and Ronan Griffin is now out of the Grand Prix, so he's not able to recuperate his losses from the start. Reese Burton has a spin. That's Podosek picking up the pieces in 10th, and it was indeed Ronan Griffin who broke a front wing, had a spin at the first turn. So Suzuka has claimed its early victims. As we see the top three. Let's stick with Spirichev here. Spirichev battling Borden. Borden can't keep the title protagonist back. Not even able to make much purchase on the Stewart and the straight, so Spirichev is really flying to crawl back and get the points he needs to win the championship. Tina Curtis again putting another fastest lap. And now already Spirichev pulling out 2 seconds on Borden. Let's see what the gap would look like on Curtis for the next time she goes round, checking her 3-lap pace. Definitely that car looks on rails and she looks poised to take a title. I just didn't expect that. Came completely out of left field that all the drama would just take place on the first lap alone. But I think Tina Curtis's championship hopes can be thwarted by Ferrari if she doesn't get the win to consolidate the points finish. Because I think if she doesn't win, all Spirichev has to do is finish 4th to better against Tina. But that is yet to be seen, as now Spirichev is having a go on Wedding, and he will not let it go easily. But the power of the Stewart Ford is more than Lewis can handle, and through goes Spirichev into 130R. And Spirichev driving stunningly fast to try and recover what he's lost. As the Jordan, I thought that was the Jordan of Owen Potter going around. Sirignano setting the new fastest lap of the race. So Sirignano is definitely willing to fight for the win if he can get it. That was a bit of a slow exit there on that corner. And there he goes over the brow, followed by Carroll getting a little bit crossed up. And I wonder now, will Carroll obey team orders and let, quite literally, let Spirichev through for the championship? So let's see how that develops. Big lock-up for Carroll, but he keeps it moving smoothly. On board with Spirichev going into the spoon curve. He's only a corner away from his teammate, and his teammate is really literally going to be the difference between winning the title for Stewart or not. Let's see if he yields like Barrichello did for Schumacher in Austria. And it's a bad mistake for Spirichev. It's a critical race not to be making any mistakes. It's only 20 laps to go. You can't afford to lose out on any lap. Now, looks like Ostrolek has extended track limits in one of the last 3 laps he has made. So the telemetry is not giving us the time that Spirichev is making up to his teammate at this point. 5 seconds separating Sirignano and Curtis. As the race continues. Lewis Wedding 5th now. Aleksei Spirichev 6th. We'll see how that develops as the pit stop cycles come. And Owen Potter not far away. And Owen Potter is looking poised to challenge for 6th. Which could hurt McLaren Mercedes' chances in the Constructors' Championship if they haven't pulled away with it already. And that is extremely slow under braking for Aleksei Spirichev, so we have a battle on our hands here. Spirichev now setting the fastest lap of the race, so he's definitely on the warpath. I'll keep an eye on the gap between him and his teammate and see where the team orders lie. Two seconds separating Ostrolek and Spirichev. Almost nothing between these two. Looks like Wedding will have the opportunity to pull away if they do battle. And there is Ostrolek being caught by his teammate only just less than a corner away. There goes Wedding, followed by Borden, and followed by Owen Potter. And there's Jules Bouchard that I was not aware was so close to Owen Potter. So there's definitely going to be a 3-way battle, but I want to see how the title develops at the moment before I cover that. Meanwhile, Spirichev has not, or not Spirichev, but Sirignano has not been able to keep up that flying pace he had to stay with Tina Curtis. Tina Curtis yet again putting the fastest lap of the race. Weren't able to record all the gaps to see where they were at. But here is Sirignano and Ostrolek. So Sirignano going almost 2 seconds faster a lap than Ostrolek. And Ostrolek is already planning his first stop of the evening. Now, will he yield to Spirichev early, since he's on an in-lap, and Spirichev plans to keep going, or not? That's an important question. Meanwhile, Potter's still stalking the McLaren of Borden, and Jules doing the same for the Jordan of Potter. So not much developing yet. Let's stay with the Stewarts as they decide what they're going to do. Wondering if Carroll will move over, and it does look like team orders are in effect, and Carroll is most certainly moving over for his teammate in the championship. So that is really going to help Spirichev. I think he has just enough points to win the title, but it's yet to be confirmed. I will double check it as the race continues. As you know, anything can happen in Formula 1, so this might not be the order that both cars will finish in, with Tina in first and Spirichev in third at the moment. It may still change. And now goes Carroll into the pits. We have the Ferrari of Sirignano doing a stop. I think that's the McLaren of Curtis coming out. Yes, it is. So 5 seconds for Spirichev to Curtis. He may have wanted to pit earlier, but maybe he can pull just enough time to get a fast stop, stay second and compete. Lewis Wedding now inheriting third position. There's Borden inheriting fourth. Sirignano now out of the pits, followed by Potter, who has not yet stopped, judging from the worn rubber. So fresh rubber, clean rubber on Sirignano's tyres. Old rubber still on the McLaren, so maybe he can negotiate that McLaren quickly. Let's see where Jules Bouchard ended up. He's a ways back with Karel Ostrolek. There's Karel coming around Degna 1 now. No sign of Jules Bouchard. Let's see where he's at. There he is. He's all the way back in Sector 1. Now, Potter's planning on stopping as we watch the battle between Sirignano and Borden from his T-cam. Nose to tail going towards 130R. Let's see who's brave. Looks like Sirignano's brave. He's going to go for it on the outside, but he doesn't have the lack of drag, and he has to pull back. So Borden defends that position well. But again, Sirignano has fresher tyres, and that is very much apparent as Borden gets crossed up. And I think it's going to hurt Borden to have not pitted earlier, as now Owen will have a chance to pit and get out and possibly undercut the McLaren of Borden. Meanwhile, Spirichev in fifth, now out of the pits, ahead. Following these two, he needs to get back to these two. Tina Curtis is still leading, and is on clean rubber. Let's see what kind of rubber Spirichev is on. He's also on clean rubber. So what happened was that Spirichev pitted and Tina re-inherited the first position. So now Borden can be a real team player here and assist in the championship by keeping Spirichev behind for as long as humanly possible. Although it looks like Spirichev already looking to muscle his way through. If he can stay in the tow and maybe try something in 130R, although that McLaren engine is certainly gutsy and is pulling away at a rapid rate. Down to first gear for the Casio triangle. Spirichev going to try the inside to the outside move, side by side going into the start, finishing straight. I think he needs to tuck back under that rear wing, and he does. And does he have the tow? Borden doing everything to protect this title from Tina Curtis being taken away by the Stewart of Aleksei Spirichev, excuse me. And it's certainly the fight of the race here, as McLaren are definitely jumping for joy as Borden just puts on a real Ironman effort to keep Spirichev behind, and it's a real absolute cinema going on here at Suzuka. And Ferrari's capitalizing from this, pulling away slowly in third. Spirichev is going to have to try something desperate as he gets onto the artificial turf on the outside of Degna 2. He's trying a wide arc to see if he can cut in and get a run on Borden. It looks good, but Borden using that McLaren engine to the best of her abilities to keep Spirichev back. Spoon curve coming up. It's going to be another chance, and there it goes. Aleksei Spirichev with a perfect spoon curve execution, the understeer, and perhaps the absolute worn tires, although a mammoth effort from Borden. And even so, on worn tires, she tries to pull her way around and does get by Spirichev. So the fight is not over yet for Spirichev, and Spirichev must be banging his wheel in frustration as Borden cuts the corner and has to give up the position now, but a Herculean effort to keep Spirichev back for as long as possible to prolong this title fight. And look at the amount of time that Sirignano was able to pull out in the last 2 laps due to that battle. He pulled out 5 seconds total, and now that is a mountain to climb. And I'm sure that that Ferrari of Sirignano is going to be quicker than the Stewart of Spirichev to catch back up and pass for second place. But definitely Alexis Borden can rest easy knowing she did her job for her team to delay the inevitable for as long as possible and keep the points race alive between herself and Stewart for Tina Curtis. Carroll now maybe can help out with the Constructors' Championship if he can catch up to Tina. I know his tyres are fresher than Borden's, so if he can catch up and provide some support by passing Borden, that should aid Stewart. Meanwhile, back down to 6th, I believe, is Lewis Wedding, followed by Potter, who's a little bit far and a ways from the BAR. But Jules Bouchard is not out of the conversation there. Just a good corner away from Owen Potter. There goes Owen. Let's check now with Tina Curtis. In first place there she is. Going through the Senna S's. And now the first bit of traffic of the day between Tina and Clear Air is Lewis Reed Burton for Benetton. To Degna 2 following Reese Burton. Don't want any drama from this back marker. And it is clean through for Tina Curtis, exactly what she'd want. Aleksei Spirichev slowly making progress towards Sirignano, closing that 5-second gap down to around 3 seconds already, 3.5 seconds roughly. Borden in a respectable 4th place, followed by Carroll 5th, Wedding 6th, Potter 7th, 8th, Jules Bouchard, and the time that Burton is being pulled out on is not going to appease the pit wall at Benetton at the moment, but he is ahead of the Arrows of Podosek debuting here today, and he is certainly slower than Burton due to the financial issues of Arrows. Now Borden finally planning to make her first planned stop of the evening, so she really got the most out of those soft tyres where possible. 15 out of 27 laps to go, so we're over half distance. Now I wonder what Spirichev is thinking when it comes to his second stop. How he's going to time it so he can have a shot at winning against Tina and consolidating the title for himself. Still no real progress towards the Ferrari of Sirignano. Just about a straightaways away. Hard under braking. And Spirichev spins! Spirichev spins! He's trying a little too hard, I imagine, to try and get this title. There's Lewis Reese Burton ahead for Sirignano. See if there's any drama when lapping the Benetton. Looks like it's going to be a safe lapping, and it is indeed. Again, another clean lapping for the Stewart of Spirichev. Carlos Strelec minding his own business, as well as Lewis Wedding. Now we have a battle on our hands between McLaren and Jordan. Let's see how this goes. Owen is definitely not someone who will yield easily. Now towards 130R. Tucked under the rear wing of the Jordan, there'll be a chance here. There's lap traffic up ahead, and this is for the final points paying position of the race. Borden having a look, but nothing's there, but getting right up on the rear wing of Potter. I'd say this is going to be a processional overtake, knowing the abilities of the McLaren compared to the abilities of the Jordan. But Potter's definitely defending it like hell, and there's contact! It doesn't seem to have affected Potter too much, but there definitely was contact. And these two are kind of barreling towards Lewis in speed. Now into Degna 1 and 2. No change yet between these two. Towards the hairpin. Alexis takes a wide to inside line, looking for a chance. Looks like she's got the run on Potter. And inside, Warden has a look, but it's not executable. Borden trying to see if there's a possibility at 130R, but it doesn't pull it off. Just over 9 laps to go in this Japanese Grand Prix. No changes yet going into lap 18. It's a close battle, long brewing battle. Potter makes a little bit of mistake, but it's not enough to let Borden by. Tires definitely going to rub. And outside, on the outside of Degno 1, what a move by Aleksei Spirichev. Very clean, very clinical. Great move for helping the championship fight. Aleksei Borden collecting first position. Leonard Podosek has retired on his debut for Arrows. Meanwhile, Sirignano back in the pits for what looks like a planned stop. No issues there. Aleksei Spirichev now planning to come in. And what's going on here? Ostrolek all over. Oh no, this is Spirichev. I got confused. So the battle for the title is well and truly underway once again. Ostrolek is now, who had let his teammate go, now third. Sirignano's fourth. And meanwhile, Spirichev has quickly snuck back up into race contention for the title against Curtis. I didn't even realize that. I didn't even notice that he'd managed to charge all the way back up to Tina Curtis, especially in that Stewart. This is a real underdog story. The Stewart, I wouldn't reckon, should be that quick to stay toe-to-toe with the McLaren, but here we are. This is the fight for the title right here you're watching, folks. This is the two title protagonists that have been going at it all year long. There's only 7 laps to go. They might double stint the tires and take them to the end. Tina Curtis's tires don't look that worn. But, hey, Spirichev's do. And Spirichev, if he can manage it, might take the tires to the end. If it means he can fight for a title. And Spirichev is an aggressive driver. Jules Bouchard now a retiree for Williams in this race. So just 7 cars remain out of about 12, I think 13 starters for the finale. Now Spirichev is in serious trouble because he's pitting with 7 laps to go. Definitely Tina Curtis will try to go to the end. I've no doubt in my mind. There's no way she'll pit. I think she's gotten the strategy absolutely perfect and is planning to go to the end on worn tires to win the title. Now, I'm not perfectly sure, but I'm pretty sure if Tina wins, it's over for Spirichev, and running out of fuel on the line in Malaysia cost him a championship, as well as his early mistake here. Now in Spirichev goes. Let's see what kind of stop it is. New rubber on, old rubber off. And it's a good stop for Spirichev, so maybe he can pull out some magic laps. But I doubt Tina is going to pit for any reason. There goes Sirignano in a lonely but well-earned third. Fourth now is Lewis Wedding. Borden doing a good job for her team in 5th. 6th, rounding out the final points paying position, is Ostrolek. Now Potter leaving the pits, followed by Lewis Reese Burton. So 12 starters, 4 cars out. 1 car lap down in 8th, respectable 8th. Potter making up time to Ostrolek, it seems. Maybe Ostrolek came in for fresh rubber, and it looks like, judging from the lack of wear on his tyres, that he did. Lewis Wedding might be under risk of attack from Borden if he's not careful. 22 of 27. See what's going on. Yeah, Tina is most certainly taking those tyres to the end. She cannot afford to pit, and it looks like McLaren could be the world champions here, as expected in '99. If Tina can keep it together. Clean running for Tina Curtis, no issues. 19 seconds separating her and Spirichev. And Spirichev is nowhere in sight, and it's going to be a perfect race for Tina, permitted that she stays calm. There's Spirichev in a very good 3rd position. Or not Spirichev, Sirignano, excuse me. No changes between 4th to 6th for Wedding, Borden or Ostrolek. Now 4 laps to go. Potter on his own, and as well as Lewis Reese Burton rounding out the field. So everything's kind of died down, really. The only kind of plausibility that will get some drama is if Curtis pits, which doesn't seem to be the case. But if she does have a spin, being on worn tyres and all, it could come back to haunt her. Not long for Tina Curtis to go. Spirichev has brought the 19-second gap down to 16 seconds, but it's not going to be enough. No changes in the order. 2 seconds now separating Borden and Wedding. To see if Borden can catch up at all to Wedding and gain another crucial position for McLaren. 2 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and Spirichev is not making any ground on Curtis, and indeed Curtis has absolutely nailed the strategy and is definitely going to take those tyres to the end. Two laps to go. As Tina Curtis crosses the finish line. There isn't much to say, really. I was thinking this title fight was going to come down to the wire, but there's not much that can happen between Tina crashing somehow in the last 2 laps. I mean, Spirichev is driving out of his mind with fresh tyres set in the fast lap of the race, but it's looking futile now. 15 seconds is an ocean. He's in the Senna S's, but already Tina Curtis in Degna 1 and Degna 2 on worn tyres though. And Sirignano having a great finish to the end of his Ferrari season to be in 3rd. Lewis Wedding 4th. Borden may have a fight for 4th in the closing stages. There's Carroll watching that. Potter on his own, and Burton on his own as well. But we'll stick. Maybe something will happen between lap 26 to 27, but I doubt it. I think Tina Curtis may be champion here. Like great job with as you can see her wrestling the car. Great job for Tina Curtis to keep the double stint on those worn tires, I think, while Spirichev, who's driving out of his mind on fresher rubber. I think the start of the race really hurt Spirichev, and look, even Curtis still keeping the pace up and keeping that 15-second gap. It's now the final lap of the race. Lewis Reese Burton to lap. Let's hope nothing bad happens. That's an awkward position for Burton to be in, but he gets out of the way. No issues there. So it looks like the title may be decided already. I'm not quite sure. There'll be calculations afterwards. If you want a full confirmation, make sure you join the Virtual Formula Universe Discord. I will put it in the live stream chat once the race wraps up. But I'm pretty sure McLaren are going to have the World Drivers' Championship wrapped up by Tina Curtis as she has a corner to go, going towards the start-finish line. And Tina Curtis is going to win the Japanese Grand Prix and possibly the World Drivers' Championship, and clocking the fastest lap of the race on worn tyres. A super effort from McLaren. Spirichev needed more time. He couldn't have any of the mistakes. He snatches fastest lap away. Sirignano, a great close to the season for Ferrari in third. Fourth now, coming up to the Casio triangle, is Lewis Wedding, who isn't taking any risks, or with Borden behind, not taking any risks, excuse me. And definitely elated to see that Curtis won the race. And sixth for Ostrolek. And then we have Potter to go. And there goes Potter across the line. And then we have the Benetton of Lewis Reese Burton to still finish his laps. And that is the last car of the Grand Prix across the line. So there's the McLarens together. Definitely Constructors' champions, if nothing else. Tina is almost convinced, doing burnouts, that she's a champion. Let's confirm that. So just stand by and bear with me as we confirm the results of the championship. And indeed, I just got confirmation that Tina Curtis is indeed World Drivers' Champion. So McLaren have secured the World Drivers' title, and I believe also the constructor's title here at the Fuji Television Japanese Grand Prix. For more information, you can go to our Discord server, and also if you'd like to get involved in the upcoming 2000 season and our other seasons. But I've been Matthew Sibignoni. This has been the Formula One 1999 season concluding. And Tina Curtis beats Aleksei Spirichev by a single point, 72 points to 71 to round out the title. So an excellent season effort from Tina Curtis. And oh yeah, that was certainly some prime time television right there. I'll sign off and we will continue the celebrations on the Discord. You can join our Discord with the link in the live chat, and we will see you later.